Hi, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Gretchen Skoke-DeSanto. I'm a business management professor here at the college. And it's my pleasure to have with us today Andy Graham, the founder and CEO of boltsandnuts.com. And I want to basically tell you how I know him. Okay, so I'm a big believer in any of us that teach in the business management department. We're big believers in networking. So how do you build your network? Lots of different ways to do that. So a way that I've built my network, just one way, is that I've been really involved with something called the Fast Track 50 for the last 13 years. And it's a business awards event that recognizes the largest growing or the fastest growing businesses in Lake and Geauga counties. And for the last 3 years, Andy's business has been one of the top 5 at that event. So, I took notice the first year I saw him at that event. I was like, oh my goodness, you're so young. Your sales are phenomenal. Your growth is phenomenal. So I'm so glad you were able to join us today.
Well, thank you.
I have a warning for you.
Okay.
We have some intro to entrepreneurship students in here. Could you guys raise your hands? Okay, so we have some folks that they're interested in hearing, starting a business, what matters, what's important. We also have Dr. Zurin's business communication class here today. Can you guys raise your hands? Who's from business communication class? Okay, so we got a bunch of folks. They are critiquing us in our presentation skills.
Oh, fantastic.
Right? Is that true? So we have to behave ourselves. The tip I will tell you guys is when you're doing presentations, it's incredibly important that you know what you're talking about. Okay, and when I called Andy earlier this week. He's like, oh, Gretchen, these questions, I gave him the questions beforehand. He's like, I know these questions because this is what I breathe and live and eat, essentially, my business. So that's the hardest part when you're doing presentations, just know what you're talking about, right?
Absolutely, and actually, as you guys might notice, I did take notes because I want to make sure I get my point across clearly and correctly. Sometimes I can kind of go all over the place, so if I am looking at my paper, it's just me trying to make sure I'm getting my message across accurately. So there's a lot to say, and I wanted to make sure I say it right. And also, if anybody has any questions or you want to stop, feel free. Just raise your hand, and as long as that's...
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So I think I've got like 7 or 8 questions I'm going to ask him, but then we're going to open up questions to all of you. So if you have one that, hey, you want answered right now, it's maybe a follow-up to something I've asked or he said something, please raise your hand. We want this to be informal and a great use of time for all of you who are spending the time with us. So my first question.
Yes.
Okay, if you could start with expanding on my introduction of you,
Sure.
which was pretty brief, and include an overview of your career, and then what made you start boltsandnuts.com?
Sure.
What's the story there?
First, my name's Andy Graham. I'm the owner and founder and CEO of boltsandnuts.com. We're an online fastener distributor. We're an online fastener distributor located in Perry, Ohio. We stock over 17,000 different products and operate from a 30,000 square foot facility. We've proven to be a reputable supplier to just about every industry. I mean, if you could think about it, fasteners go into everything, including what you guys are sitting on, the phones in your pockets, what's holding this building up. Industries like solar, agricultural, just really, you name it, we're kind of in it. Fasteners, they really hold everything together, if you want to connect anything. Some of our products include hex bolts, flange bolts, sockets, screws, nuts, washers. We sell assortments and much, much more. It's over 17,000 products total. We sell on 4 different marketplaces. We have 2 websites, which is boltsandnuts.com. We have flangebolts.com, which is actually where we started. And we also sell on eBay and Amazon. So it's a lot. We're not just managing just the website that everybody sees. eBay and Amazon and boltsandnuts.com. That's, if you go to Amazon, you find our store, it says boltsandnuts.com. We don't operate under another name. That's all under the flagship of boltsandnuts.com. Flangebolts.com is very specific. That's kind of like its own thing. So that was how we started. Our company was founded in 2013 with the boom of internet e-commerce. I was involved in the fastener industry working for my father, and the internet was arising, and the fastener industry was very old school. It's paperwork, it's faxing, and people never thought people would buy fasteners on the internet. Well, That's just not the case. Pretty much everything is being bought on the internet nowadays. Being started in 2013, this is our 10th year in business, which is excellent. We are growing every single year. We've had growth every single year, which is great. Our company, we're heavily involved in social media. I believe you had said something earlier. We have almost 30,000 followers between all of our networks. We do Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, which I manage myself. And then I also manage my own personal account, Andy the Bolt Guy, and that's who I am. My whole life, people have called me the Bolt Guy. Hey, I got to call the Bolt Guy. So I coined it, especially working with, well, I didn't get there, but yeah, I coined Andy the Bolt Guy. So if you look for me on social media, you can find me there. That's kind of like my outside of work stuff. And then I manage all of the boltsandnuts.com social media as well. Our company, we also work with several major YouTubers and influencers, includes people, and I don't know if you guys have heard any of these people, like we work with Whistling Diesel, Demolition Ranch, Cletus McFarland, Adam LZ, Boosted Boys, Robbie Layton, Diesel Creek, Vice Grip Garage, Mike Finnegan, and a few more. Is anybody familiar with anybody? You guys know? Okay.
Who do you guys know?
Whistling. So we've been featured on these channels. This actually came about, and this is a little bit further in my speech, but it came about 2 years ago. This social media influence and being on these channels and having our products. We set up these bolt bins in the background with our sign on the tops in the background of every video. Has helped us more than anything. I mean, more than advertising, just social media influence is huge. I go to like trade shows now, people are like, oh, I saw you on this, saw you on that, saw you on this. I've been doing trade shows for 15 years, and it's never come like this. We literally have mobs of people at these trade shows, whether it's farm, SEMA, PRI, all these different things we do. So we've been very blessed there. It's been really a cool experience to go on these channels and see these people and work with them. And this type of advertising has helped our company more than anything by far. And as for a little bit of inside baseball, if anybody else here does social media or business social media, the absolute best way to grow your audience and following is by Reels right now. Just inside baseball. You can gain free followers and a free audience. Generally what I used to do was I would make a post, I would put advertising dollars towards it, and I would get like a follower would cost me $0.25. But if I make a reel and it goes viral, which I've had quite a few, you gain followers 5,000 at a time. It's pretty wild. I have, not me personally, but I have a buddy that did one that was like 10 million views on an Instagram reel, gained 20,000 followers or something just from one single video that he thought was going to do nothing. So it's pretty wild. Does anybody else, I'm just curious, does anybody else in here run social media for a business? Just curious. Okay, cool. We're just still students. Okay. So that's pretty much the company there. That's what we do. So do you want to know more about me?
Well, let's talk. So the majority of students here are business management students.
Sure.
Okay, so why do you think it's a good time to go into business?
Yeah.
What is awaiting them? Obviously, social media.
Yeah.
So they need to be up in skills on that. But what else?
Absolutely. There has never been a better time to get into business, and that is hands down. With the internet, technology advances, and things like AI, we have unlimited knowledge resources and the answers to most questions right at our fingertips nowadays. It's definitely not like what it used to be. These are all tools that I think are super important. For example, in our industry, which I said was old, like when I first got in, I started working for my dad, and I'll go more into that, but when I got started, a lot of people were using Rolodexes for inventory, going, oh, where is this part in my warehouse, in a fastener warehouse? They would have to go over to this card thing or these drawers, and they would pull them out, and they would flip through, go, hey, I'm taking 500, mark it by hand. Well, that's all managed on a computer now. That saves a ton of expense. That saves, you can manage your inventory with 1 or 2 people now versus having a whole team of people to just manage inventory. It's much faster and more accurate and saves boatloads of time. If you're ever interested in starting a business, do it now. the longer you wait, the more time you've lost. Everybody has ideas, and I always say this, everybody has ideas. Be the person that actually puts them into action. That's super important. I've had all my friends, I got this idea, I hear this and I hear that, and nobody ever does anything. So, I have an idea and I really like it, I go for it. I mean, I'm hungry, like, it's fun to me. So I think that's important. If you have ideas, go for them. Don't just let them sit in your head. Start putting them to action.
So you said you started in 2013, so you got a good decade behind you. What are 3 leadership skills or qualities that you think have helped support that success and growth and sales and employment over the last decade?
And a lot of this stuff too, like these skills, it varies. So when I first started, I started with my sister, and I had a little bit about me that was in there we kind of passed over, but I started the company with my sister. We have 20 employees now, so we're growing like crazy. I have learned these things over time. Your perspective is not the same in the beginning as to 10 years in. It's just different. I have teams, I have management teams, I have a company president that handles everything. I'm pretty much I put the ideas into motion. I relay a message to my company president, and he manages it throughout our management. So the 3 successful skills that I would say is, the number 1 is being open-minded. Opportunities arise all the time. It's important to listen to everybody, including customers, employees, and the people around you. You don't want to miss a big break, which I've had. Everybody has ideas and opinions. This isn't Andy's Bolt Shop. This is the team, boltsandnuts.com. So it's important to be open-minded and to listen to everybody, because some owners, they think they know everything, and it's not the case. So when it's a one-way street, that just doesn't fare well throughout the whole business. The next is being level-headed and leading by example. Your team is watching your reactions and will perform on your performance. If your team sees you crushing hard tasks confidently, they'll react and support you back the same way. If you're always angry and stressed out, it can hurt your interpersonal relationships and will crush your team's overall performance. Trust me, we all have our days. It's important to suck it up and show you're a strong leader. And that's why us business owners only cry on the way home when no one can see it. So it's super important to stay level-headed. If you're constantly blowing up on people, because things are always going to happen, it's just inevitable. Just keeping that level head, open mind is super important when you're in the shop. It's a direct reflection on the rest of the company. The last, and this is the biggest one to me, and this was the hardest part for me in business, was learning to delegate. I don't know if you ever hear people talking about delegating. Because I created every department within the company, I felt the need to be a part of every department and help to make the decisions. So for instance, like if there was an issue in sales, I felt like I had to be the final answer, or there was something going on in purchasing, a part's late, like I had to feel like I was being involved in everything. Well, what ends up happening is you become a paperweight when you grow and you're starting to scale up, you become a paperweight. And since I'm involved in everything, I can't get to everything, you end up holding things back and you get nowhere. So entrusting your staff, your teams, and giving them responsibilities and letting them make decisions was one of the best things I have learned for my business to help me grow. That's why you hire people. I have a purchasing director. He's in charge of all things purchasing. If he has an issue, he brings it up to me, or if I have an issue, I bring it up to him. It's just the flow of the business. And my dad always told me, son, you need to delegate, delegate, delegate. And if you don't, you'll drive yourself crazy, which I've been there and done that.
Amen.
Amen.
So let's talk about challenges.
Yeah.
Business is not easy.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No. Constantly
Constantly changing, very dynamic. Could you speak for a few minutes about the largest challenges you're facing right now and how you're navigating the growth of the business despite those?
Yeah. My challenges aren't the same as, again, when I first started to where they are now. But the biggest one to me personally is time, and that's always been from the beginning to now is time. A lot of my visions are still the same as when I first began. It took me about 6 years to get myself comfortable. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's important to look at the big picture and incremental steps. For example, of our 17,000 products we stock, we have 5 pricing options for each. That's over 350,000 different listings we manage between each of our marketplaces altogether. So Amazon, eBay, bolts and nuts, flange bolts, it's about 350,000 different prices. So it's a ton of work. That's definitely not something you can do overnight. So to do that accurately and effectively, again, that does not happen overnight. So it's important to realize that Rome wasn't built in a day, and things take time to grow. Another challenge is controlled growth. We found it easy to add and sell things on the internet, but you don't want to put the cart in front of the horse. Yeah. When you grow too quickly, you can hurt your internal processes, customer service, and employee relationships. That can all lead to poor leadership and unhappy customers and staff. It's important to take the time to learn your products, customers, and to understand your employees. You don't just want to jam business because then everybody's working all day long. You never get a break. We never get time to have meetings. It just becomes crazy and chaotic. You don't want to go out and hire 10 people at one time. You're better off hiring 2 people at a time and training them. That way you don't have all new crew. So I don't want to just go, I like doing it in steps. So right now we just got out of a growing state. So the last 2 months we added 4 employees to business that we're going after in the future. We're adding some new products and things of that nature. So to make that happen, we had to add more staff. Another thing I see a lot in business and startups are troubles with cash flow, which a lot of businesses have those. Our business is an internet company, which means we get paid up front, which is kind of unusual, and have the funds before our products ship. In the beginning for us, it was very difficult to balance money for all the expenses, including growth and payroll and things of that nature. But over the last few years, our company has been able to become 100% debt-free. So our company has no debts, and a lot of that has to do with the internet. Selling a product online, you get paid up front. I don't have to go to my accounting department, look at the money I'm owed. John Smith, he's 400 days overdue, things like that. So we're not constantly hunting money, and we don't have that whole aspect which some businesses face. I'm just curious, does anyone in here currently own a business? No? Oh, you do? What do you do?
Dog training.
Dog training, okay. What is one of the biggest challenges you face? Just curious.
Currently, because I'm just now starting up, it's a lot of the networking.
Networking, gotcha. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Yeah, that's a great business. I mean, that's a service business. That's a great start for you. Learn it in and out, and then, if you want to take it to the next level, let's start creating groups and teams, and that's scaling up with service there. Okay.
Okay, next question then. Let's talk about mentors, role models. Have you had any?
I
Tell
have.
us about it.
Yes, I have. So my biggest mentor is my dad. I'm 5th generation fasteners. My father owned a fastener company separate. My grandfather owned a fastener company, and my great and great grandfather both sold fasteners. They always said our family was a little screwy. So it's not just me. And my dad has been in business for over 25 years. He knows it in and out, so he's like the ultimate resource for me. Whether I have questions about what should I do here, what should we do there, what do you think? He's just an excellent person to run things past for me. He has helped me out so much, just so much, whether it's nighttime, morning time, any time of the day, he'll help me out. And aside from Lakeland's business classes, which I took all of the Lakeland business classes, like accounting, business management, all those types of classes. I did not finish. I got stuck on some of the English stuff, and I actually started a photography company, so I was not able to finish. But aside from Lakeland's business classes, my dad basically put me through Fastener College by showing me the ropes and how to handle things appropriately. You're not going to win every battle, and it's important to know that, and it's definitely something he has showed me. Yes.
Yeah, okay, well, I've got a couple more questions, so you guys get ready with your questions. Okay, we got plenty of time here. business management department, and I mentioned this earlier, big proponents of building your network. So can you share a story that illustrates the power of your network?
Yeah, absolutely. I think she kind of brushed on, I have two things I want to talk about here. You kind of brushed on one. Just even being here speaking with you today was meeting Gretchen at Fast Track 50 3-4 years ago, and her reaching out and us talking, and I think we've sat down and talked maybe 2 or 3 times, and ultimately led to me sitting here speaking with you. So without meeting her and going out and networking and doing these things, I wouldn't be here. So, which I don't know is a good thing or bad thing for you guys. But and then this one's kind of a long story, but I'll talk a little bit about our YouTube networking, because this is a really big deal for our company. It kind of brought us to the next step. So I've always been a big fan of YouTube, and our company does all this YouTube marketing. Well, about 5 years ago, I reached out to 2 of my favorite YouTubers that I wanted to work with. That was Cletus McFarland, Whistling Diesel. I sent them DMs on Instagram, laying in bed one night, hey, I would love to supply you with your fasteners. I see you guys are always running out for hardware, and I never heard back. So that, these guys get hundreds and hundreds of Instagram messages a day. So about 3 years after that, we were at a trade show, which was 2 years ago now, the PRI trade show up in Indianapolis. And I actually wasn't there, but my team was there, and my cousin, they ended up talking to this guy whose name is Jack Stan Jimmy, which we didn't know at the time, but he is a member of the Cletus McFarland YouTube channel. Cletus McFarland, somewhere around 3.5 million followers on YouTube. His videos all do over 1 million views. So we were talking to this guy, and we didn't realize we were talking to him. Well, what our company does, what we do that's differently than anybody else, this is where the innovation, this is our bread and butter, this is why all the big guys want to buy our company, because we did something that nobody else did. We created, during the pandemic, we were sitting down at dinners and we're all using these QR codes. And so we have these bolt kits we sell. They're metal trays, there's bolts in there. Well, to reorder, you have to go to the website, you have to go find everything, or you have to call us, you have to email us, and you're hunting. Well, so all of our bolt kits and our big bolt bin setups, where they have all the labels, each label is QR coded. So when you want to restock, you scan that QR code, it takes that exact item on our website. So if you're a busy shop owner, a lot of times small business, small shops, the owner, he's out wrenching on the cars and doing all the work. He doesn't have time to go out and stock the bolt bins, make sure he has things. So with this system we set up, this reordering system, you can send anybody out, receptionist. It takes, this bin's empty, scan it, add 50 to the cart, 100, however many you want. We sell by the piece package and bulk quantities. So we were at this trade show at Indy, and we just rolled this out literally 2 weeks before we went on this trade show, which was the biggest break of my life, hands down, 2 weeks after this trade show. So we were showing the system the whole time. We ended up talking to this guy. We didn't even realize who he was. Well, 2 weeks later, we got a call from the Cletus McFarland, this massive YouTuber that I had sent a message to 5 years prior, hey, I want to work with you. Never heard back. So it ended up working out. He reached out, so we ended up creating this giant setup for him. It's what we call as our Mac Daddy setup. And if anybody goes and looks, you can check out our website. It's these over 31,000 piece setups we sell. It's these big bolt bins, comes with a cabinet, has a lot of our little individual fastener kits. It's the Mac Daddy setup. That's what it's coined. And it's our trademark. So we sell 3 variations. We have the automotive, industrial, and the farm edition. And these stemmed, so we basically gave Cletus, I told Cletus on the phone, hey, I want to give you a Mac Daddy setup. So right there, we built this thing, designed it out for him, and now it's called the Mac Daddy. We sell them almost every week. These are big bolt kits that go into big corporations. So all because of this YouTube channel. Well, and then, so when this YouTube channel was done, I was super nervous. Went down, big fangirled out, the whole deal, excited on video. It panned out well. I thought it was done. I was stressed out. Well, right after the video dropped, my Instagram DMs just started blowing up. Every YouTuber, blue check mark, Adam LZ, Whistling Diesel, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. It was like overwhelming amount. NASCAR guys, da-da-da. So we ended up going on all these YouTube channels, and it is unbelievable what the power of these influencers can do. Yes, we sold lots of Bolts kits. We sold tons on Amazon, but nobody knew the brand boltsandnuts.com. Now when people talk about, a big guy like Fastenal, Kimball Midwest, Grainger, we're coming up on that list. Like, our name isn't too far down from those big guys that have been doing it for 100 years, 50 years, which is pretty cool. So, and then the Whistling Diesel, who is a massive YouTuber. So Cletus is 3 million, Whistling Diesel's maybe 6 million. He was our second one, and he reached out to me on Instagram. He liked that message I had sent 3 years prior. Hey man, I would love to work with you. 3 years later, saw that I was a fan of his, liked that message, and then, hey man, I want to buy these. I want to get these setups in my shops. So, man, it's the whole idea is like being open-minded, looking for opportunities and things like that, and then you never know what's going to happen. And now we have this huge network, we have these followings. Like, I'm just a regular guy. I was sitting in this classroom here. I go to some of these events that these YouTubers do. People ask me for autographs. I only sign checks. Like, I don't know what the heck to do, but it's weird stuff like that, and it's just created this like cult thing for us. We sell merch every single day now because of it. Hats, hoodies, beanies. Like, if I don't have it, things are out of stock, people get angry. I mean, it created this whole whirlwind from us, and I would say just from that, I mean, it's wild. You get your name out there, people know who we are. I was just at Home Depot, I had my Bolts and Nuts shirt on. Lady at Home Depot, she goes, you're the owner. She goes, I saw you on Robbie Layton's YouTube channel. I had to sit there and talk to her for 20 minutes. I was going in to get like a paintbrush or something, so it's wild. I'm a business owner. I'm not a celebrity. Like, that's not who I am. I can sell you bolts. I know all about fasteners, so. But yeah, none of that really would have came about without the hard work again, and just being open-minded and just, having a great team and just working insanely hard. I mean, the first 2 years of business, I would literally get to work at 6 in the morning. I would literally work till 2 at night, and then I would sleep in my office chair, go home, shower in the morning, and then come right back. And I did that almost every day for 2 years. And this is before I had children. Now it's a little bit more difficult, but it was rough. I mean, I burned out so many times, but I've carved a path, and I've created all the processes, I've created all the teams, all the management, and man, we just have the best team on the planet. There's just no way somebody could do. I used to be able to do everything. I can't do everything anymore. I would be there. I would need 20 of me. I mean, literally. So, yeah. So the power of networking is unbelievable. Whether it's here, there, just meeting people in general, like-minded people.
So that's a perfect lead-in to my next question.
Yes.
Because you mentioned your team.
Yes.
How do you inspire and motivate them?
Yeah. So the big one for me is team meetings. Not too many meetings. I don't like to come in every day. All right, let's hug, guys. Come on, everybody, 3, 2, 1. We don't do that because it can get too lame. I mean, it gets ridiculous sometimes. I know some companies, and I have some friends that are business owners, and what they do, it's just, I'm not going to sit around and hug all day, but we do bi-monthly meetings through all of our departments. That's purchasing, sales, operations, warehouse, and manager meeting. And what that does is that brings everybody together. So the warehouse guys, you think because you work in the warehouse, oh, I don't really have a voice. No, in these meetings, you have a voice. Hey, we've been doing it this way. I really think if we did it this way, it would be more effective. We can get more done if we do it this way. Again, this is the open-minded leadership. So that gives everybody in the company a voice. And out of the years, I've only ever had one person leave, and it was to go to better themselves in a better position, which I will never fault anybody for doing. I've never had anybody quit out of anger. It's just the camaraderie there. I mean, we are really an excellent team. We execute. Just really, these meetings pull us together, and giving people a voice is super important. Nobody just wants to be a number. I mean, you just don't. I worked for, my first job was actually Pretzel Time in the Menor Mall. So I used to sell pretzels. No one knew who I was. I mean, my managers didn't know my name. I just looked at my schedule and showed up when I was supposed to show up. So We also do things like company lunches. We'll bring in Chipotle, once or twice a month, pizzas. We do some holiday parties. We try and shy away from too many after work activities. It just, from my experience, those things can kind of get a little hairy sometimes, depending on where you're at and what you're doing. We do things like NFL tournaments, like NFL squares and college brackets, and to be honest, when we get done early, you can find most of us out in the warehouse playing basketball against each other. We'll play pig or basketball. We just like to have a good time. Days we are so busy where everybody's sweating, busting our butts all day long, and then other days we're done by 2. As long as you get your work done, I'm not going to pressure you if you take an easy, because most of the days we're super busy, but when we are slow, take your time. I'm not asking you to work up to the bell, this is your time, but when we are busy, you better drop that phone and get your butt to work, so that's pretty much it. It's just keeping people on the same page. I like lists of things. We send out our sales number to all the management every day. We all have goals. We send up sales because we have budgets, so our sales budget, we hit 95%, we're at 110%. We let everybody know that stuff just so we are all on the same page. We obviously have closed door things, but most of it's out on the table. I talked to people, we were just talking about Deshaun Watson before I left. Anybody heard about that? But these Browns, I just talk to everybody. Every day I walk around, I say hi to everybody. We meet everybody, all the managers, we all say hi. It's just a very nice thing. So it keeps the camaraderie up. I just have a great team, good people. Another big thing with me too, I actually didn't write this one down, just remembered it. Another big thing with me is hiring within, promoting within. So we basically hire into the warehouse now. I hired maybe 5 19-year-olds at one time, maybe 3 years ago. These kids are 21, 22, all started in the warehouse. Well, these kids are all great. Well, next thing you know, I need a warehouse manager. And I'm like, what am I going to go find somebody, bring them in, teach them these jobs that these kids are already doing. So my warehouse operations manager is 22 years old. He manages 11 people through us, through upper management, but I like to promote. So as we're growing, our shipping and packaging departments were always the same. Well, because we do so much shipping and so much packaging, we actually had to break them off into 2 departments. So, hey man, you've been doing really good. One of these kids, he's now in charge of the packaging department. He has 2 people that works under him. So people see that stuff when I'm not just bringing in people and cutting people off. If you're a hard worker and I'm a big believer in seniority, hard worker and seniority, I will take you and move you up into the office. I have 2 kids that were in the warehouse work in the office. There's opportunities all over the place. We're a growing company. We're not just some dud. I'm not just the owner that's taking all the money, going on vacation. I am there every single day. Post office sometimes. They come at 2 o'clock. Well, we're still packaging orders till 4 o'clock in the afternoon while all these packages are sitting. I personally drive those to the post office every single day. People help me now, but forever I've done it, but at least 2 weeks, 2 days out of the week, I drive all the rest of the packages. We do not let those sit till the next day, which we could easily do. And people see that I'm a hard worker too. And I think when you're a hardworking leader, that really drives people. Because I've just seen all my friends ask me for jobs. People from my buddies that own companies, their employees are asking me for jobs. They just see how we work and how we operate, and it's just a really cool place. It's bigger than myself. It is not me. This is just me trying to talk about the company now. It's way bigger than me. It just is, absolutely. I'm going on a YouTube channel and on the 27th of this month, 11.2 million subscribers. The Wembley Stadium in the UK holds 90,000 people. If you had 90,000 followers on social media, that's not that much. But if you look at 90,000 people, that is an insane amount of people. My products are going to be in the eyes of 11 million people, which is unbelievable. So, I don't know. I don't know what I'm always getting myself into. I'll find out when that's over. But I'm just, again, super open-minded. I don't act like I know everything. I will give guidance if people ask for it. it's just being a listening person and being a functioning member of the company. So I'm 33 years old, by the way. I started it when I was 23. So when I'm 40 years old, that might change. I might have to relax a little bit. I might not be able to do the 80-hour weeks every single week anymore. But for right now, I love working. It is the ultimate hobby of mine. So that's what I do for fun.
Nice. Okay, so I want to turn it over to you guys. What questions do you have? I have one final one that I'm saving in case you get quiet. But what questions do you have?
So that is a great point. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Really, there is. To be honest, still happens to me today. This last week. So what it ends up happening is it's not just at work when you're the owner. It's when I go home, lay in bed. Like my brain is just going. So you're not just burned out at work. You're burned out at home. It affects so many different things. But I've had to learn that there is always light at the end of the tunnel, and you go through like growing. There's just all these steps of growth, and sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's easier. So just understanding, and to be honest, like with everything I have going on with the holidays coming up, writing the speech, prepping for this YouTube thing I have going on, I was feeling it, and it's been like about a year. I was feeling it over these last few nights, just all the pressures of everything. But I just tackle it step by step. I write out a list of things I'm working on. I tackle the most important ones and the easiest ones first, and then I move on to the bigger things that have more time and take more time. And I create lists. I have to write everything down, as you can see. I write everything down because there is so much going on up here. So, again, I don't shell myself to my employees. I talk to everybody. So if, someone's getting married, I want to talk to them about that. I don't like to be closed-minded. So it takes a lot of brain space. But yeah, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. It's just, and this is kind of my last statement. My dad always told me if being in business was so easy, everybody would do it. It's for some people and it's not for some people. Some people are okay with a one crew landscaping team. Some people want the whole United States. So that's just how it works. Okay, so Fastenal, they're one of our biggest competitors. We are on their radar. I won't tell you how I know that, but they were very interested in our company. Some of these big guys have just reached out to us. So we don't go, so if like Fastenal, their business, like if there's a skyscraper being built, they supply everything, all the materials, everything. That is not what we do. We focus on home garages, small to medium-sized businesses. We do work with some large companies. Like we supply all the fasteners to the Dayton Air Force Museum. So if anybody goes down to the Dayton Air Force Museum, all those exhibits, we supplied all those fasteners in there. The Enola Gay, all this crazy plane stuff they have in there, all the World War II stuff. We supply, Eaton's, Parker's. We supply all of those. We do work with them. But competing, I don't, this is actually a good point too. That's a great question. So this comes up, I used to focus on my competitors. Like I would go home, lay in bed, I would look at my competitors because I would make a post on eBay, all the info's there. I would make a post, that night the guy would copy my listing, make the same post, drop it by a penny. Next thing you know, I'm shit out of luck. I'm losing all the sales on eBay because he has a better price, and he didn't go out and design the box, he just recreated it. So I had to learn to stop looking at the competition, stay in my lane, and focus on the brand. Where are we the most effective? To be honest, like eBay and Amazon is a whirlwind of just so many different people that boltsandnuts.com is our bread and butter. That is the one thing that nobody else has that we have. Anybody can sell on eBay and Amazon, just the way it goes. So I had to learn to not look at the competition because that gave me many stressful nights as well. I just stay in my lane. We have such a big list of things to work on that I just don't have time to really look at the competition. So I might check up on here and there every once in a while, but nothing that keeps me up overnight anymore. Great question. So we work with about 20. We work with distributors here in the United States, importing distributors, and then we also import on our own. We source globally, but altogether it's about 20. We work with everything from people that make studs to the fasteners here in the States to people that just stock fasteners to the plating companies for refinishing. Excuse me. But those types of things like nylon patches and Vibratites and stuff. So we work with I would say about 20 to 30 altogether. Used to be a lot smaller, but as we're growing, because we supply drill bits, that comes from a certain company. The Loctites, that comes obviously from them, and those types of things. So I have my father's company was ISO certified. Not a fun time when you're doing those audits. Not a fun time. It's a lot of work, a lot of time. We have talked about it. It has not hindered our business in any way. If you're an ISO company, we might not be the best fit for you. Like, we only fit in certain spots. If it's not the right fit, it's not the right fit for us. I'm not going to chase it. There's plenty of business everywhere. If I had all the business, I wouldn't have any competitors. So, until they're all gone, there's a lot of business out there. So right now we are not, but at some point we most likely will be. And the real reason for that is we're growing so much and I have so many people that are going to start happening, because these 20 people, I envision them all becoming managers. I want branches. Like, I want a branch on the West Coast. I want a branch in Florida. Like, I want to be all over the place. So I'll end up having to take these people, have the experience, and give them the positions. But with that comes the procedures, and that ISO is just so helpful for make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So not just for your customers, but just as a business in general. Non-conforming and things like that. You don't want to send bad fasteners to some guy that's fixing his brakes. That get a little dangerous.
So some folks in the audience may not understand what ISO is. Would
Yeah.
you mind doing a brief
Sure.
ISO 101?
Yeah, so it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah,
so
Dan comes from quality. So.
okay, all right, quality management system. So ISO is a quality management system, meaning, so when you have big customers, like for instance, let's say a customer like GE, and they probably have more requirements than just ISO, but they make you are required to have an ISO certificate, meaning that you are audited every year or every other year, and you have the right processes in place. Like, if something goes wrong, here's what you do, and then they certify your company. So when I go to a GE, I say, hey, I'm ISO certified. You guys are protected. We are doing everything we can to make sure you are getting quality products. You're not getting things that are broken. Things happen. We get parts, threads were bad. It comes back. Well, what happens if a guy just puts that right back on the shelf? You can't do that stuff. So it's all the internal processes for your quality management, all the way from purchasing to sales, the way you log things, things of that nature. So pretty much it.
You got it.
Got it. All right, cool. Yeah, definitely not fun times. I was a purchasing director for my father's company before I started this company, and yeah, I was the head of the purchasing department. Those were not fun. I had 3 people that worked under me, and it was hard. It took about a week to make sure you had everything up to date and everybody knows what to say and they're doing the right things. And because you even say the wrong thing, you can get dinged for that. So, but. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a stickler. I pay my people very well, and that comes directly from buying things in bulk, buying things directly from the manufacturer, not a middleman, keeps our costs down, and then paying our employees well, giving them benefits. That reflects in your price, which comes from your brand. So I used to have the best price. It was all about price to me. I gotta have the best price. What ends up happening when you chase price, you end up making no money. At the end of the day, if you're doing all this work, you're not making any money. Why are you doing it? So we've increased our prices for the demand of the brand, and then we dump more advertising dollar. But I built into our price, I build protection for all my employees. I want my employees to have health insurance. I don't want, we've all worked these jobs where it's they don't care. I'm giving kids that have broken homes, chances, and health insurance, and man, I haven't been to the dentist since I was 16, it's like, huh? So we build all that in. We build all that into like the pricing of the brand and everything. That's a part of our bottom line. So when we're looking at it, like our sell, like we expect to make a certain margin at the bottom, and that's all through budgeting of health insurance, dental, all the different insurance and taxes and types of things like that. So it's a lot. And I'm not an accounting expert. I have an accountant that comes in 4 times a year. I have an accounting person that does all our logging and everything like that. Accountant comes in and goes, Golden, you're good. We do everything. We scan every single receipt. We are the most organized company on the planet. You want to go into our QuickBooks, I buy something, that receipt is saved in there. You click on it, it's right there. Organization's super important too. There's no questions asked. Feds ever come in my building, I have nothing to worry about. Types of things. But yeah, ultimately we build that into the brand, which all those expenses that come out, we create a sell price that reflects all that. So we have a bottom line. And we use that. I would love to take money out of the company. I take all that money and I put that right back in, whether that's more employees and inventory. I am not interested in the money right now. I am more interested in growth. Heavy umbrella policy. No, just kidding. So obviously business insurance. We don't have a lawyer. Everything in our industry is lot traceable. So meaning if I sell a fastener that, let's say it's on a roller coaster or something, or it's on a car. Yeah. Exactly. So, and that was caused by hydrogen embrittlement. And I don't know if they've actually said that, but fastener is very common. If you install a fastener and it wasn't baked properly, over time hydrogen gets in there, heads pop off. It'll just happen for no reason. It's just the parts weren't properly manufactured. So with this lot traceability, it all goes back to essentially the manufacturer. I have not needed a lawyer other than for like trademarks and patents and things like that, really for any kind of quality issue or concern. We have a pretty robust sales terms and conditions, but most of that would fall, I think, within our suppliers. In a lot of the cases, we're a middleman. So, and again, we work with the manufacturers. We are not the manufacturer. Generally, they keep going upstream for things like that. So, but I have heavy insurance policies as well. I mean, I got guys on forklifts, friggin' 3 stories up in the air, they all got harnesses, and back in the day, we didn't wear harnesses. I mean, it was just, whatever, it's a small business, but now it's like, it's mandatory. I mean, if I see you without a harness, you're getting a write-up. Safety is, it's not that I care about being sued, I am insanely squeamish. I don't want to go in the warehouse and see one of my guys laying on the floor, and that was it. That would be one of the worst days of my life, so. It's caring about the health and the safety of my employees. So even with COVID, that was another thing. It's like, I wanted to make sure everybody was safe, everybody was comfortable. That was a challenge in its own. I mean, just trying to make sure everybody's happy and appease everyone. So basically, again, I'm 5th generation fasteners. My father and my grandfather and my great-grandfather were all involved in fasteners. I worked for my father's company, National Threaded Fasteners, from the age of 17 to 23, which was a fastener company he started when I was 7. I started in the warehouse pulling orders, picking orders, shipping orders, and then I worked my way through sales and then ultimately becoming his purchasing director at like the age of 22. I've been to China and Taiwan over 10 times. I've traveled the world for fasteners for him. ISO company, big corporations, very corporate-y type job. I was kind of getting tired of traveling all over, dealing with all this stuff, and so I've always been fascinated with computers. I was given a Windows 95 computer when I was a young kid by an aunt, didn't have much growing up. And I didn't have internet on it, but I learned it inside and out. Never had games for it, learned the computer inside and out. I've always been a huge computer person, gaming, computer guy. And then Sorry. And then I also taught myself how to use Photoshop when MySpace was around. I don't know if that shows my age, but when MySpace was around, I self-taught myself Photoshop because I wanted to make my emo photos so all my friends could think I was super cool. So I self-taught myself Photoshop. So when I was 23, I had all the fastener knowledge and then this graphic design experience, and I just, boom, boltsandnuts.com. So that's how it came about there.
So you built the first website?
Yep, I did not. We actually started on eBay, but I took all the pictures. So we had the website built. I did start, but it was too cumbersome. We had somebody build it, took all the pictures, did all the data. It's an intense amount of work. Everything we sell has a product print. So it's like a blueprint of all the dimensions, min, max, tolerances. I drew all that to start with, but now I have a teammate that does that for me. But yeah, it was just taking what I knew and just boom, rolling with it, and it came strong. So, now boltsandnuts.com is over 20 employees. It's full internal management, including a company president who handles all the day-to-day tasks. Most of the time now, I just find myself again steering the ship. I don't want to get involved in too much of the day-to-day, but I want to make sure we're heading in the correct directions. So. And if somebody is not doing that correctly, that's a problem with a process within the business. If I say something doesn't happen or things aren't happening, there's something wrong with the process, or maybe it is a people problem, but most of the time it's something with the process, which we're always improving. We love improving. Why did I not? Man, working for family is insanely tough. He was very corporate, and it is just tough, man. Having a dad, like when I go for Thanksgiving, like I'm not talking to my dad about, hey, how's it been? How's this and that? It's, hey, did you get that done? You're over here. You're in China next week. It's insanely tough. And me, I think we are just two leaders, and we butt heads, and we're actually still business partners today. He's kind of like a silent partner to me, but he's not involved in any of the day-to-day. My dad helps me with looking at the finances, but the last few years that's all been hunky-dory, like everything's okay. So, but we just butted heads back then, and I want to do my own thing, and I had a photography business, so I just kind of said, all right, let's break off and yeah. Really good question. So we put up, I don't know if anybody knows where our building is. It's on Route 20 in Perry, right across the street from Sheetz, if anybody knows where it's at. There's a 48-foot sign on that building. That's actually our old building. We're a little bit further down. But when we put up that sign about 4 years ago, we started getting walk-in customers. For the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, I get to talk to people. This is great. So we have maybe 10 walk-ins a day, but we do have customers that don't place orders online. Businesses, they don't want to place orders online. They send us POs and they call in and they email, so we do have connections. That's where I'm going to end. That was my very last statement. Any of you, anytime, come take a tour. I have shirts, I have hats. I would love to show you guys the inside and out. It's not rocket science. The world is massive. You can go on Alibaba, buy anything today, and start selling it on eBay and be in business. I would love to show you guys how an e-commerce business is actually ran. I mean, we have over 8,000 picking locations within the warehouse for the 17,000 products. Those are individually sectioned as well, so it's actually more than that. But yeah, there's, yeah, so,
Okay.
sorry.
Can we get a round of applause for Andy?
Thank you.